Let's talk about greed for a minute. Everybody knows what greed is, right? How's it affecting us nowadays in our society? We see it every time we go shopping, don't we? We see it in terms of shrinkflation. We see it in terms of they're paying the employees more, so we got to raise the price. Let's say a company made $1 million profit. That's their profit margin, right? Well, through pressure from society, they had to raise the pay of their employees. They brought them up 10, 12, $15 an hour. They want that $1 million profit to stay the same, don't they? So what do? Well, they raise the prices. They double or triple the price of it, right? Usually they just double it or close to doubling it. But what else do? You get smaller portions when you buy something. So that adds more to the profit. So by the time they're done, they're paying their employees more, but yet their profit margin went from 1 million to 2.5 to 3 million. You have to go higher and higher up. You understand what I'm saying? That's just an example. We see this all the time now. You go to the grocery store, $100 doesn't buy hardly anything anymore at the grocery store. Now, greed is sometimes seen in the private sector too. You know, you'll have a construction company. Let's say they're making $250,000 a year after their expenses, payroll, and everything. Well, the next year they're like, let's hire another crew so we can double our profits. They'll hire another crew. They'll make more money, right? Well, then when the economy or something slows them down, they get mad at the economy, although it was their simple greed of wanting to make more money. You've heard of strike while the iron's hot, right? That's what a lot of people want to do. If something's real hot, they want to jump in that market and get as much money as they can before it crashes. The key to it is to get out before it crashes. Most people don't do it, though. Most people ride it down to the bottom and then complain. We see it all the time in companies. We see it all the time, especially at the grocery stores. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, let's use Burger King, a fast food restaurant, as an example. A Whopper with cheese meal here in my area is around $11 now. Before the pandemic, it was 5 to 6, depending on where you stopped to get it, you know, in which area you stopped and got it. Well, they raised the pay for their employees. Prices went up, right? Prices doubled for that meal. Also, it's not as big as it used to be. You see it in snack crackers. The snack crackers aren't as thick as they used to be. You're seeing less and less. Like you go to the grocery store, buy peanut butter, there's less in it. The biggest one everybody should catch on to if you drink Gatorade or Powerade, the 32-ounce bottle is 28 ounces now and costs nearly twice as much in my area as it used to when it was a 32-ounce bottle. How do you stop greed, right? Well, let's say everybody said we're not going to pay gas no more. We're not going to pay this price for fuel anymore. Everybody wants to boycott it, right? What happens when they boycott it? The day before, they always want to boycott for one day, like don't buy gas on this day. People the day before go fill their cars up, or they go fill it up afterwards, right? The day after they fill it up. So you're not really hurting nothing. The way to do it is you have to boycott it 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, right? You have to say, we're not paying these prices. But people are not going to take that upon themselves to do it to help somebody, to help everyone, right? They're not going to hurt to help everyone else. And when you talk about stuff like that, you need to understand that really, unless you're driving, you know, multiple hours to work and back each way, a tank of gas should last you about a week. But where does all the other running around come from, right? You got to go to the store. You got to go over and see your friend. You got to go here. You got to go there. You know, somebody's got a ball game. That's where the extra gas comes in, right? We're at a point where we can't boycott it no more. You know, I asked back when fuel shot up nearly $5 a gallon here. I was asking people, what's your cutoff limit? When are you going to quit buying it? I got the same answer every time from talking to people. I'll just have to pay it because I ain't going to walk. And they know that. These people that run these companies, that run the government, they know that. They have you. They say, well, these people are going to complain a lot, right? They'll gripe and yell, but they're still going to buy it. Now, you'll have a small margin that says, I can't afford it and I'm not going to do it, but I have more people that's willing to pay that price, but yet they'll complain, right? Because they got to have it. Same way with fast food restaurants. You know, that stuff was considered essential during the, right? It was essential. Made no sense to me. If you could afford to eat there, you should have been able to afford to buy some groceries and cook at home, right? They're not going to do that. They're not, you know, people nowadays are not going to do it. They want the easy, simple stuff. You know, like Nowadays, people are so busy. They go to work, they come home, they got one kid playing a game over here, they got another kid playing a game over here at another time. They just don't have time to cook, none of that stuff. So it's easier to stop and get fast food, right? We stop and get fast food maybe once a month, maybe, and it's usually Wendy's, because honestly, that's the cheapest place around here if you want a burger or something to get it. They still have their $5 meals. They took the 4 for $4 away, but they still have the 5 for $5, so 4 people can eat for about $21, $22 with tax. Still high, but it's cheaper than everybody else, right? Guys, these high prices, the shrink, it's all here to stay. You just got to accept it, because society as a whole is not willing to do what they need to do to get these prices down. You've heard of supply and demand, right? Well, if we're not demanding all this stuff, the price should come down, right? It's not going to happen no more. It's not, plain and simple. Lumber prices fell, yes, but stuff like plumbing, wiring, electrical is still high. It did not come back down very much from its peak, right? Framing material came down. But as far as gas, they know they could charge you $12 a gallon, and 80% of the people would still buy the gas because they have to have it, because they're not going to walk, right? Now, if, let's say, everybody in America boycotted gas for a month, then you would see gas prices fall. I mean, they would be way down here at the bottom, right? That's not going to happen. They know that's not going to happen, because they know how society is. Nowadays, we have a lot of people that do this. That's all they do, right? They complain, but yet when it comes time to actually do something, they just sit back and let somebody else do it, or they're like, I ain't getting in that. No. We've discussed it before, the line in the sand. How many times have you seen somebody draw a line in the sand? It gets crossed, they just move the line back and draw another one, right? Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that greed is a good thing? Do you think supply and demand would work if everybody just quit buying everything? And do you agree that people are at the point now where they're not going to give up luxuries? They're not going to give it up just to help all of society, Let me know your thoughts on this. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. If you're still watching and you're not going to subscribe, hit the thumbs down on your way out the door. Everybody stay safe and keep prepping.